Hi there! In today's video I'm working on my C Raylib game project again, in which I'm building a game, you guessed it, in C with Raylib. Now, in case you missed the previous videos or you don't remember, then let's actually take a look at what we have so far. And I'll actually go back in the Git history to the first version. So I have made 2 videos of this already. So let's git checkout into this commit. And then let's build the game. So we just run build.sh. And then let's run the game. So this is the first version of the game. And this is actually the first ever game that I have built in C with Raylib. So here I can just bounce around with this ball and I can jump over on these platforms if they're not too far. And I also added this panning of the camera so I can actually move around in this world and jump around like this. A very basic game. And in the second video, I actually added some AI-generated graphics to this. So if I git checkout dash, I should go back to the master. And if I then build this thing again and I run it again, then here is what we have right now. So all these graphics were generated with ChatGPT or DALL-E 3, and it works just the same as the ball version, but now we have this character that we can move around with, and we can jump like this, and we can go back, and it works pretty nicely. But what I would like to do in today's video is I would like to add some NPCs to this game, because currently there's no point in this game. We can just walk around and jump around in this world, but there's nothing to do. We can't gather any points, and it is not interesting at all. So what I would like to do is I would like to add some enemies that attack us. Now, I'm not really a game developer. I'm not sure if those are called NPCs. I mean, technically they are non-player characters, but that's what we're building today. So I want somebody to attack us. Maybe they can shoot at us or something, and maybe we can shoot back at them. Something like this. So let's try to do it. So let's actually jump over to ChatGPT and create our enemy character. So how I did it the last time is I asked it to create a sprite sheet. So let's say, create a sprite sheet of a 2D platform jumping game character. The character is a jungle monster with a gun. So we want it to have a gun so that it can shoot at us. And let's say make sure to add different leg positions so that the character can be animated to walk. And let's do this and see what happens. Now actually, in our game, this character only has 2 frames in the walking animation because I was unable to make ChatGPT create enough images. So the walking is not that amazing. But I mean, actually I didn't notice it as I was playing the game in the demo, so it is kind of okay. But that's kind of a difficulty in these AI-generated graphics. And what is this? What on earth is this? We have just a gun with legs. That is not quite what I wanted. So let's change our prompt. Let's say holding a gun. And let's do it again. And something went wrong. So let's wait a moment and try again. Okay, we got something. We have a gun over here, but then the monster is not holding it. And let's actually say to create a wide image, because now we can't see all of the sprites. Create a wide sprite sheet of a 2D platform jumping game character. The character is a jungle monster holding a gun. Okay, let's do that. And again, something went wrong, so let's try again. And here we have a jungle monster. Now this one looks kind of cool, but then we have these smaller versions, which is not really what I want. They are too small. Let's say just create, I don't know, 3 sprites. Let's say 3 sprite sheet. And something is really wrong now with ChatGPT today. Let's try again. Okay, this one looks kind of cool, but this is cut off first of all, and we're not walking. So let's try to create another one. Okay, what do we have here? Here we have a jungle monster whose legs are kind of moving a little bit, and we have a gun. So I'm going to use this one, even though I'm not quite happy with it, but I am wasting too much time on creating this character, so I want to continue with the actual coding. So I will recreate it just for good measure, and I'm going to go to Photo P, and I'm going to open that image here. And let's extract these images. So let's get the lasso tool and get this version and make a new file and paste this in here. And let's remove some of this stuff from here. So that's going to be removed, and this is going to be removed. And we need to make this a transparent background. Now it's white. So let's just use this tool to select all these white parts, and then I will just delete, and hopefully that's good enough. Let's then trim this thing, and let's also take the next frame, and actually we want to add the gun to each of the frames. So let's take this thing and copy and paste, and actually I want to reveal all, and let's remove again these extra bits from here and this one, and let's again remove the background like that. So now we have this version, and let's take also the gun version. Now I really like this one because it's straight. Yes, this is not going to shoot in the right direction. So can we like copy this one somehow? If I take it like that and I paste it in here, and I need to make it a bit smaller, maybe something like that. And then let's reveal all again and remove the background from this. Now Photo P has this refine edge, but I'm not really sure how to use this. This is not as good as Photoshop, and I don't have Photoshop right now, but I think that looks pretty good. So if this is one frame, maybe we can move it a little bit up, something like that. It looks pretty good. So if I now trim this one, and then I save this as a PNG, and this is monster right 1. And then we have to change to this one, and I have to move it in the right spot. And let's save this one as well. This will be monster right 2. Now of course the monster is going to go the other way, but maybe we want to make it move both ways. I actually don't remember if I flip the character in the code or do I have a separate image. Okay, I think I flip it in the code. So we can just do this like that. So let's put this character in the game. And how do we do that? Well, right now we have this character struct that has a position and a size and a velocity and a direction and a speed, and whether it's jumping or not, and whether it's walking or not. And I think we can use the same thing for that NPC. So let's go down here, and we actually have this function, character on platform, and this just works on a character struct. So we have to check now all of the characters we have in the game, because I think we are only checking down here if the main character is on a platform. So we have to fix this so that the NPCs can also stay on the platforms. But first of all, let's create the character for the enemy. And we are doing the main character here. So let's just copy this thing and let's call this monster. Now, of course, we're going to have multiple monsters, but let's do this step by step. And what is the position we want to put this monster at? Well, I guess we want to have it on the right side of the screen, and Y can be just in the middle of the screen, it will then drop down. But X has to be window width minus the width of this monster. Now, how do we do this nicely so that we don't have to define the width twice? Because we have to define it here. Do we need to just say monster width? And if we say that the float monster width is, let's say 101. And yeah, we might want to use the scale factor here as well, but let's just put it as 101 now. Although, I'm not sure if it's int or float. I think it's an int. And then we can say here that the width is the monster width. but we have to actually get the size of the image. So let's do that. So I'll put the monster images in this images folder. And what is the size of this image? 402 times 339. And what is the size of the walking character? Okay, so we actually use the real size of the image. Now I would want it to be scaled automatically, so we don't actually have to use that size. But right now, let's just use this. 406, 339. So this is 406, and this is 339. Okay, we have the monster. What do we have to do next? Here we just create the platforms, and here we have a background texture, and platform textures, floor textures, and we put the floor in, and we put the platforms in, and here we have the character image. So we have standing, jumping, and walk 1 and walk 2. So let's add the images for the enemy. Now I feel like I should be doing some refactoring here because we're just copying kind of the same thing here. And now we would copy this whole thing and we would create images for the enemy. So could we have like a struct, like a character image or character images? Yeah, something like this. So we could just say that the character image, we initialize it, and then we do something like character image load. And we pass a reference to this character image, and then we pass in all of these images there. So we could have the standing, jumping, and walk 1 and walk 2. So here we would have standing, and we would have jumping, and walk 1 and walk 2. And then what we can do is we can remove all of these, and we can create that character image struct. So let's say type def struct, and this is going to be a character image. And this will have all these textures in there. And then we're going to have like, well, exactly this. So Copilot came to the rescue. Well, not quite, but we do want a void character image load. And then we want to pass in here the character image, which is the character image, and it is a pointer, so we have to do that. And we also need all of the images. So stand right, stand left, jump right, jump left. But we don't want exactly this. So again, Copilot, what are you doing? I will disable Copilot now. So actually, what we want to do is we want to do this stuff in there. And this is going to be standing. And it is just like a char star standing. Let's call it standing image. I guess path. And we are also going to have a jumping image path, a char star. And we're going to have a char star walking image path. And this should be walking image path 1 and char star walking image path 2. And then we just put them in here. So this is jumping image path, and this is going to be walking image path 1 and walking image path 2. And then in this struct, we are going to have these textures. So we're going to have stand right and stand left, which we have here. Jump right, jump left, which will be here. Jump right, jump left. And walk 1 right, walk 1 left, and walk 2 right, walk 2 left. Exactly that. So then we should be able to say that character image dot all of these things. Jump left equals something. And now I will enable Copilot. Fine. You can tell me what to do next, because I am lazy to write all of these things myself. So now we have everything here. So since we create this texture here, can we set it like this? I forgot how C works, so let's see what happens. So character image load. It takes this, and it takes all of these, and it creates the textures and puts them in there. Let's see. So then, instead of using those textures directly, we have to reference them from this character image. So where are we using those? Let's go down here, and Okay, here we have char jump left. So this is just going to be character image dot jump left. Or is it like this? No, it's like that. Right? Is it? Yeah, exactly like that. So we just do these things in here. Okay. And in the end, we also have to unload them from there. Let's see if we can build this thing now. If we build it, it was built. And if we run it, it actually works. I can't believe it. It actually worked. So now we should be able to add the enemy character as well. Now I have to figure out how do I unload these nicely. Because I don't really want to call them like this every time. I guess I have to. But now we can then create a character image for the enemy. So let's call it enemy image. And standing is going to be monster right 1. I believe I call it that. Yeah. And jumping right now is going to be just the same. Jumping right 1. And walking will be monster right 2. Or actually just 1. And walk 2 is going to be monster right 2. So we still have to generate some of these like jumping images and standing images separately. But now we have an enemy image. And we have the enemy, which I actually call it monster. So let's call it monster. Monster. And then we have to actually render the monster. So here we are just following the character with the camera. And here too. And here we are doing the kind of parallax effect of the background. And here we are moving the character down. So here what we should do is we should move also the enemy down so that the enemy will have a gravity. Now I have noticed other game developers who actually know what they're doing add here like times dt, where dt is the delta time, which you can get by saying get frame time. And if I understand correctly, get frame time is the amount of time in seconds from the previous frame. And until this point, I haven't understood why they do this, because as you can see, the game already works. Why do we have to do this? But I'm guessing that the reason is that if we take these out, and if I change the frame rate, so right now we have target FPS at 60. If I put like 20 in here, and then I build it and I run it, then the game will run very slowly now. But if we use the delta time, then I believe that we can make the game run just as fast no matter what the frame rate is. So let's actually verify if this works. So if we leave it at 60 and we go down here and we say that the float dt equals get frame time, and then we do times dt, then now the velocity is going to be pixels per second. So of course this is now going to change the speed if I just leave it like this. Let's do it and let's see what happens. And actually I will move this dt all the way up in here, and I have to times by dt every time where I move something. I mean the camera is fine I guess, but when I move the character either in the Y position or in the X position. So here I also have the scale factor, which I might want to use in the gravity as well. So here I have to say that speed times dt. And are we using this somewhere else? Here as well, times dt. And is there something else? This is just a check. That's fine. Okay, I think that should be enough. So if I now run it, I think everything will be very slow. Yes, it's very slow now. And the jump is kind of a small jump as well. I'm not sure why that is. But like the character is moving very slowly, if not even at all. So that means I need to change the speed. So this is now per second. So now we will walk 6 frames per second, which is nothing. So maybe I have to add like 100 frames per second. So if I would press the arrow right for a second, we would move 100 pixels. And the velocity is the same thing. This velocity per second. And let's add here also 100. And this is in the monster. I have to do the same thing in here. So let's do 100 and 100. And let's see what happens now. If I build it and I run it. Okay, it's still slow, but we can move. So we have to add even more. Let's do 200 to both of these. And let's build it and run it. And still it's kind of weird. But let's see the walking. The walking is fine now. I'm walking kind of at the same speed as previously. But the jumping is very weird. So let's see what's wrong with the jump. Let's search for is key pressed space. Okay, I forgot it from here. So this has to be also times dt. Oh, sorry. That is not correct. We don't have to do it here. But here we change the... No. We have to change this, which is like the jumping speed. So this has to, again, be like... Well, if the velocity was like 6 and this is 30, so this has to be like 600 or something. Let's build it and run it and jump. And oops, we went a bit too far. We actually disappeared somewhere. So that was too much. Let's do 200. Or actually, let's keep it at 600, but I think we're moving the velocity somewhere else as well. Yes, so the gravity is now, again, gravity needs to be bigger. Where's our gravity? Gravity is 2. So gravity should be something like 60. Let's see what that does. Build it and run it and jump. Okay, that looks pretty nice, but gravity is a bit too much. Let's say 30. And then we can build it and we can run it. And now it's a little bit too little. Or we move down too slowly, so we have to have more gravity. Let's say 40, but the jump needs to be a little bit more. So let's do 700 and build it and run it. And now we can jump. It's still not quite jumping as far as I would like. So we have to do 800 and build it and run it. And now we can jump over there. And it's still kind of slow. Let's put 900 and up here the gravity should be more so that we go down faster. Let's do 50 gravity. So now if I jump, now I'm quite happy. It still should go down faster. Let's do 60 gravity. And now it looks like this. And now I'm happy with it. But I want to move a bit faster to the right. So the speed is going to be like 250, let's say. Build it, run it, and now it looks like this, which, okay, it's pretty good. I guess we can leave it at that. A little bit more jumping. Now the jumping is now at 900. So let's put 1,000. But we should have, I guess, some sort of variable for this. So could it actually be in the character? Could we say character dot jump strength, something like this. And then we have to, of course, add that in there. So in our character struct, we should have an int jumping strength. Is that what I call it? Or jump strength. Strength. If I can write strength, jumping strength, jump strength. Okay, that's it. And I have to set it to both of the characters. So jump strength is 1000. And the same thing here. And let's verify one more time how this looks. We can jump and it looks fine. And now the moment of truth. To check my hypothesis, let's change the FPS to 20. And it should be just as fast. So if I jump, I was wrong. Because do I need to also... I think the walking speed is now just as fast, but the jump is not. So gravity also, of course, needs to have times dt. So gravity. Gravity is again per second. So when we add to the gravity, we have to times it by dt. And maybe that is all. Let's build it and run it and jump. Oops, it didn't work. Well, I guess now we have to change the gravity. So the gravity needs to be more. Let's do 600 gravity. And then run it and jump, and it's still not enough. We did come down eventually, but it has to be like, I don't know, 1,000. Build and run. And it's still not enough. 2,000. Jump. It's still not enough. Let's say 3,000. Jump. Jump. That looks pretty good. Okay, let's keep it at that. So this is now 20 frames per second. But what if I now change to 60 frames per second? It should be exactly the same. 60. Build and run. And jump. Yes, it is exactly the same, but just smoother. So that is why you use the DT in there, so that everything will be per second. So in case your computer lags, then it will still move at the same speed. Okay, great. So now, let's actually put the enemy character on the screen, which is what I've been doing for an hour now. So we have the monster here, and down here, where are we drawing everything? Here we are moving the character. But I guess we should do this for all the characters that are in the game. So let's make like an array of them. Let's say here that character pointer characters is an array of pointers to the characters. So we have the character and the monster. So then we can loop through all of those. So here we have to say for int I is 0, I less than characters dot how does this work? I have to get the count. There's no count in C. So we have to set int characters count is 2. And then we say here characters count and I++. And we are going to do all of this stuff in there. So let's move this in here like that. And this is not character anymore. This is characters index I. And why is it complaining? Because I guess I have to do that. Okay. So let's copy this and put it everywhere we use character dot. So all of these things. Now, of course, we don't want the monster to jump when we hit space, but we do want to do this check. So let's see how we fix that. For now, we can make both of them jump. And this also is characters index I. So we check the character on platform function will return the current platform, the index of the current platform, or -1 if the character is not on a platform. And this has to be the actual struct. So can I like dereference this? And do I have to put this in like parentheses? Is that possible? Now I might use actually here a pointer to the character. Let's see what happens. If I do that, then we should add gravity to all of the characters, but we are still not drawing the monster. And of course, these key left and key right, these should be still in the main character. And here we draw the platforms, and here. This again, we need to do for all the characters. So let's add here again, for int I is 0, I less than characters length, or characters count, I++. We are going to do all of this stuff. So this will be moved inside of this loop. And I wrote something wrong here. Characters count. And again, character dot is going to be characters index I. Characters index I and an arrow. And is that all? That actually should be all, although we are using character image. So we should probably say character image should be inside of the character struct. So we can say characters index I image jump left. So then what we have to do is we have to in our character struct have a character image. So then when we create a character, we have to set the character image. So we have to move the character image generation up there. So let's copy these and move them in here. First we create the character image and the monster image, and the character gets the image of the character image, and the monster gets the image of the monster image. So now it's in there. And are we using character image somewhere else? Here. So actually now we can just create like a method for the character to unload everything. So let's do that. Let's copy all of these and let's say character destroy, and we're gonna destroy the character and we're gonna destroy the monster, and then we can do that in here. So we have the character and we will have a void character destroy, which will do exactly that. And this has to be referenced with a dot down here. That's why we get some errors. So these are going to have to be dots. And now it will work. So here we actually draw the texture of the character. And this is just where we calculate if it's jumping, then if it's jumping to the left, we use jump left, and otherwise we use jump right. If it's walking, then we do this time stuff here so that we will alternate between the images. And here is the standing version. Okay, so now let's try and build this thing, and it's built the first time. What? And let's run it, and look at this. We have a monster. Look at that, it's a monster. And I forgot to remove some of the white stuff from there, and the borders are kind of terrible. But we have a monster in there. And does it jump? It jumps. And it sticks on a platform as well. But it doesn't move. That is pretty cool. So let me fix the graphics a little bit, and then let's make the monster come from the right side and then move towards our character. Alright, I refined the edge a little bit, so now it's a little bit better. But it's still not perfect. But it's as good as the other characters in this game. So let's make it appear from the right. And let's fix first the jumping of the monster. So we don't want to do this for the monster. So where should we do this? We still want to do that. Could we just say something like if characters index I can jump and, or can we just say just jump key? What if we say if there is a jump key and we press that jump key, then we jump? So that way we could like add a multiplayer feature into this. So then the character would have like a jump key, and this is key space. And let's actually try. If we say that the jump key for this one is like, I don't know, F, key F. Is that how it works? Key F. Yeah, I think so. So now we can jump with the monster with the F key, and we can jump with the character with the space key. But we have to add the jump key in there. So character will have a int jump key. Is it int? I guess so. So let's try it. If I build it and I run it and I jump, only this guy jumps. But if I press F, then that guy jumps. So now we have a multiplayer game where the other person can only jump. Okay, that's pretty cool. But now we need to make the monster walk automatically. And how is that done? Well, first of all, we have a direction in the character, which I think was just 1 or -1. So when we create the monster, we can set the direction to -1. So then it's going to walk to the left. And where we have key left, we are moving the character to the left. And we set the direction to -1. But can't we do this? If we move the check of the key press up here, and we just set the character walking to true, and then we can take this thing, and we can take that thing, and we can move it inside the loop so that if the character is not jumping, is walking, then we are going to do this. And it will plus equal the character direction times this. So characters index I x plus equals characters index I direction times characters index I speed times dt times scale factor. And this needs to be like that as well. And I think we set the walking to false every time up here. Maybe we should move this like around here so that it's in the same place. No, I mean, I guess it could be just else if and then else we can do this. Not sure if it matters how we do this, but let's do that. So now what we can do is we can just set the monster to walking directly. So in here, when we create the monster, we just say that the walking is true. Now it's false, we say true. So now the monster should be walking to the left automatically, and we can still jump with the character. And again, we build it straight away. And let's run it. And look at this. Okay, it is actually walking, but the animation is terrible. And I still forgot from the other image this white spot from here. Okay, now it should look better. If I build it and I run it, and yeah, now we don't have the white stuff in there. But of course, the walking animation is horrible, but I think we can work with this. Now, I think we have to move the camera in such a way that we are not actually here. We should be here, so that we actually have some space for the monsters to appear. So let's set the monster position to actually just window width. So it's going to be hidden in the beginning. And our camera moving logic needs to be changed, which is done here. So right now, if we are over 60% of the window width, then we move the camera. Or if we are 40% on the left side. So let's make this like 30% here and, I don't know, 10% here. Does that make any sense? Maybe. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, so now we are over there. And yeah, I think I want it even more close to the left. So let's do like 2 and let's put this like 0.05. Does that make any sense? Okay, now we are there and it is in fact working pretty nicely. Maybe it can be even closer. So let's put 0.1 and 0.05. Let's see what that will do. Okay, now we're all the way there. Okay, that looks pretty nice. So now we should have a little bit of time before the monsters catch up to us. So of course we should add extra monsters now. Or they should appear, a new monster should appear every now and then. And maybe even multiple monsters. Although we might just use the same monster. So after the monster dies, it will appear again. Maybe that makes sense. So how about we do this? In our loop, we check somewhere. Is it down here? Here we check if the x position is less than 0, we set it to 0. But with the monster, we should make it reappear. So what is the best way of doing this? I could just say that if I equals 0 and this happens, then we do this, and otherwise we do something else. But I don't really want to use that. I want it to be like a property of the character. So for now I will just do if character index I should reappear, then we're going to do something, and otherwise we're just going to do that. And if it should reappear, then we should set the x to what? We should get the actual camera position. What is the camera position? Camera offset x. But that's going to be a negative number, so we have to invert that. Let's do that. Let's say it's camera offset x times -1. Or maybe we can do just minus camera offset x and plus window width. Oh yeah, okay. I guess that makes sense. So let's see what happens now if we add should reappear. Now maybe I'm starting to have too many things in the character. Maybe we should have another kind of struct. Well, let's add should reappear here, and the character should not reappear. Yeah, let's set the direction to and should reappear to false, not true. This is false, but the monster is going to reappear. Let's build it. And finally, we got a compilation error. Subscripted value is neither array nor pointer nor vector. Aha. On line 366. Character index I. Characters index I. Okay. Sorry, I have to build it and run it. So now when it goes there, it should appear from the other side. Okay. Actually, it's kind of interesting. Why does it do like that? I think what's happening in the beginning is that because we move the character in the middle of the screen to begin with, but we have the camera set up in such a way that it will follow the character in this position, then we already move the camera around so that the beginning is not actually the x equals 0. So that's why even if we go to the beginning, then, okay, well actually we can see here that now the monster disappears when it gets there. That's right. But because we start at this position, then we can't actually see that the monster is disappearing. Okay, but it works. And if I move around, it will always start from there. But of course, it will only start after it gets to the very beginning of the world. So as I move, it will take longer and longer for it to appear, because it has to go back to the beginning first. But it works. So actually, what we should do is we should check if the character should reappear, we do something, and else we do something else. So here we check the X position, but if it should appear, we have to check the camera position. So if the character's index I, X is greater than window width. No, if it's greater than minus camera offset X, or sorry, smaller. If it's smaller than camera offset X minus, then it should reappear like this. Does that make sense? Is that correct now? If we go off screen basically, then we appear from the other side, which might not be exactly what we want. Maybe we want to add like plus 200 pixels or something like this. So let's build it and run it, and let's see if it works. It's the other way. So now we are disappearing too early. So we have to actually minus from it. Minus. So, sorry, I have to rebuild it and run it. So now we're actually going to go off screen. Well, almost, because 200 was not enough. Let's do 600. Build it and run it. So now we are actually going to disappear there, and then we're going to appear. But then we're going to appear. Maybe that's still not like the perfect thing that we need to do, but we are actually reappearing. The minute we go off screen, we will appear from the other side. That's pretty cool. So now that we have an enemy that will walk towards us and then reappear when it goes off camera, let's make it so that it will shoot at us. But I think before that, I might want to make a quick commit here. So let's do git add p, and what did we add? We moved this character image loading into the character image struct. That is fine. And then we added this should reappear and jump key and image and all this stuff. I'm just going to commit all of these in one commit, although it would have been nicer probably to add this separately, but let's do it like this right now. And I will just commit added enemy character. And I forgot, before I do that, I should also add the images. So let's git add images / monster everything. And then we can commit this thing. Okay, so let's make the enemy shoot at us. How are we going to do that? We probably need like a bullet struct. So let's create that at first. Let's add here type def struct. And we are going to have a bullet, not a monster. And the bullet is right now going to just have an X and Y position. And should we create like a void bullet draw so that we can draw the bullet? And we have to actually pass in here the bullet we want to draw, and this is a reference to the bullet. So then we can draw like a circle, draw, circle, not 3D, just draw circle. And we're gonna draw it at the bullet X and bullet Y, and this is, I guess, the radius. Yes, and let's make it red for now. So now we can draw a bullet on the screen at one point. And bullets should move to the left, at least when they are coming from the enemy. So let's go into our main loop here, which is here. And let's just to try it, let's just create a bullet here. So let's say bullet equals an X and Y coordinate, but let's put this into the window width. And Y is going to be window width divided by 2, or window height divided by 2. And then we should draw the bullet, and this has to be a reference. But before we draw it, we should move it. So we are going to move it to the right now. So I guess we could add like a direction in the bullet as well, because we are gonna want to have a bullet going both directions. So this is going to be bullet.direction times 100, which is the bullet speed, which we might want to define bullet speed times dt. So let's define bullet speed here. Define bullet speed 500. Okay, let's just put 100 so we can see. Maybe it's too fast. And we have to have a direction in the bullet struct. So let's add int direction. And in fact, that should already work. So we should now draw the bullet and it should move over there fairly quickly, maybe. So let's build this thing. And actually we got an error. Undefined reference to draw bullet. What did I call it? Bullet draw, of course. So draw bullet is actually bullet draw. So let's build it again and let's run this thing. And where's the bullet? I can't see the bullet. Let's try again. Bullet X plus equals bullet direction times bullet speed. And the problem here is, of course, that we are always creating the bullet here. We should create the bullet before we go into the loop, and then we can move it. So maybe it was off screen. Let's build it again and run it. And where is our bullet? I cannot see a bullet. Where is the bullet? Let's see. Bullet draw. It is probably not visible because we are clearing the background at some point over here. So we have to draw everything after that. And actually we clear the background and then we draw the background. So we have to do it here. Actually, I will move it all the way down because we want the bullets to be on top of everything, I guess. So let's put it all the way here. Let's add like a comment here. Draw bullets. And now if we build it and we run it, then now we have a red bullet here that is very tiny and slow. Okay, so let's make up a better bullet speed. So let's in fact use like 700 or something. And let's build it and let's run it, and that is pretty fast. I think it can be still faster, so let's put 900. And the bullet should actually be black. Now, actually I want to create an image for the bullet, but I'm not going to do it right now. And the bullet should of course come from the gun, but right now it is just somewhere in the middle. So we have to determine the position of the gun. So do I really want to add that into our character? We could like add in here the gun position. So it could be like a vector2 gun position. Now it might also be in the image, which does kind of make sense because maybe the different images of the character have the gun at a different position. So what if we actually put it inside here? We have the gun position in the character image. And when we actually create the character image down here, we probably want to like initialize it at 0. I think this is what you are supposed to do so that there's no like random data in the bullet position or the gun position. And now that we have the gun position in there, we can then add like a method for the character for shooting. So I can say void character shoot, and we give the reference to the character. And in here we should like create a bullet. and position it in the gun position. So let's first do like if character image gun position. If we don't have a gun position, then we should like return, and we should printf no gun position set for character. Let's do like a error like this. And I guess this again has to be like dot or not. I'm not sure why the syntax highlighting is so slow with C. Expression must have arithmetic or pointer type. Well, this is a pointer, and that pointer has an image, right? Character has an image, and the image has a gun position. Why does it not work? If I do this, it still doesn't work. So what's wrong with this? Let me actually try and compile this. What do we get? Wrong type argument to unary exclamation mark. So do I actually like have to say if character image gun position? Wait a minute. I don't understand why I can't do that. Used struct type value where scalar is required. So what is the gun position? Vector2. So I can't directly check if a vector2 exists. Okay, so I can do like .x, and then we get rid of this. So maybe this is not the way to do it. Or I guess if this is actually a pointer to a gun position or pointer to a vector, then I might be able to do that. Because then the pointer is going to be like 0 or null or something. And I have to do this, and then I can do that. Or not. Or this is still, this is not a pointer, so I have to do that. Okay. So if we don't have a gun position, then we give an error. If we have a gun position, then we should shoot. So we should create a bullet. But I guess we should have like an array of bullets. And I guess that should be in the character, because every character should have its own type of bullets. So can we make like a bullet pointer bullets? And here we can create a bullet which is going to be in the X position of the character X plus character image gun position X. And the Y is character Y plus character image gun position Y. And direction is the character direction. And then we add that bullet into the bullets. But now we have to actually work with arrays in C. And I don't remember how this works. Can we just like initialize here a certain length of the array? At first, of course, we might want to like dynamically allocate that, but it's going to be difficult. So what if I add 50 bullets in there? So is that now an array of 50 bullets? And what does Copilot want to do then? It wants to add to the first index the bullet. But we should also keep track of the count of the bullets. So should we add like a type def struct, and we are going to have the bullets, which is just like an array of bullets. So this will actually have the bullets like this, and it will have the number of the bullets. So then the character will have bullets, which is a pointer to bullets. So then what we can do is we can actually say character bullets, character bullets count is the bullet. So we append it to the bullets. So we add one bullet to the bullets of the character. Great. And then when we draw the bullet down here somewhere, we actually don't create a bullet here. We are going to just move all of the bullets of all of the characters. So again, we loop through all of the characters. So not quite this. We want to do this as well. So here we are looping through all of the bullets of the main character, but we want to loop int j equals 0, j less than characters count, j plus plus. We want to loop through all of the characters and then all of their bullets and then draw the bullets. Does that make sense? Characters, index I or j, bullets, count. Then we create the bullet and then we move the bullet and we draw the bullet. Amazing. And we have to shoot at some point. I guess we can just add here if is key pressed. Let's add here like key U or key B for bullet, just so we can test it. So when we press B, then not the character, the monster will shoot. Oh, sorry, character shoot, but we pass in the monster, right? Did we call it the monster? Yes. So when we press B, the monster will shoot. But we do not have a position in our images. So do we get any errors anywhere? Where are we creating character image? Here. We load the image. Now, the truth is that all of these different images might have a different position of the bullet. But for now, let's add it into one place. So let's add the vector2 gun position. Now I have it as a pointer, so let's see what issues that causes. But basically, we also set the bullet or the gun position to the gun position. And let's now set the gun position. So I'm going to get it from here. It is this. So it's going to be the tip of the gun. So what is that position? If I take a ruler from here, it is 399 or 400 and it is 170. 400 and 170. So let's add that thing. Character image. When we create the monster, we pass in here monster gun position. Let's do this. And here to the character for now we just pass in null. And the monster gun position is going to be we're actually allocating memory, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to say that it is X and Y of 400 and 170. I'm sorry, this is the actual thing, and this is a pointer to that thing. Now, we actually have to flip this position now, because it is not based on every single image. So based on the direction, we have to flip it around. What does that mean? So if we're going to the other direction, we have to subtract from it the width of this thing, right? Or subtract from the width of this thing the position. Let's do that. Actually, let's just run this thing first and see what happens. Okay, we get a bunch of warnings now. Unknown type, name bullets. Okay, so I have to actually define the bullets before I define the character. So let's move this in here. And where do I define the bullet? That should be defined before this. So let's go down here, copy these things and move them up here. Actually, move them right up there. And let's build it again. And now it's built. That was the only problem. So let's run it. And segmentation fault. Amazing. What is the issue now? I think it has something to do with this pointer here. So, how do I even begin to debug this? What if I just put null in here? What is going to happen? We still get the segmentation fault. Okay. When we draw the bullets, what if we don't draw the bullets? And we build it and we run it. Okay. So that is the issue. When we draw the bullets, something is wrong. So let's do that. Now this is interesting what Copilot did here. I wouldn't have necessarily done this myself. I would have just taken this thing and moved the X of this by that amount and then drawn that bullet, which looks horrible. And now we have an error here. And I guess it is that this is a pointer to the bullet, is it? So I have to do that. And I have to do this. So we loop through all the characters and then we loop through all the bullets of the characters and we add to every bullet's X the bullet's direction times bullet speed times dt, and then we draw that bullet. Let's do this. And draw bullet wants a reference to a bullet, which this is already. So can I just do that? Build. Okay. So now if I run the game, we get a segmentation fault. So does it come from bullet draw or does it come from this thing already? Build it and run it. It comes from that already. Characters J, bullets, bullets, index I. X plus equals characters J, bullets, bullets, index I, direction times that. What is direction? Did we set the direction? When we create the bullet. Where do we create the bullet? Actually, there are no bullets because I didn't shoot yet. So that means, what does it mean? Where do we actually create the bullets? We don't initialize it. That's the problem. Okay, so when we create the character down here, we should add to it the bullets. Now here we should have the bullets. And again, here we are like allocating some space for them. I guess we could do that too. But since I'm not that great with malloc, I'm going to just say that the bullets is just an empty bullets struct. But this should be the monster bullets. Let's do that. Monster bullets. But we should have character bullets as well. I guess. I'm not sure why we have to have it. Maybe we should just check it. If we have the bullets or not. Character bullets. Let's see if this does anything else. If I run it. Okay, now we can actually run it. What if I hit B? Nothing happens. And why is that? Let's add in the shoot, like a printf info shooting bullet. But we should also increment the count when we add the bullet. So the next bullet will be added. But that shouldn't be the problem here. Oh, it is the problem here. It's exactly the problem here because we add the bullet, but we don't say that there is a bullet. So now it's going to work. Build and run. And if I wait for the guy to come back here and I hit B, it said shooting bullet, but nothing happens. Okay, at least we are doing something. So where is the bullet? Maybe I want to still make it red. So when we draw the bullet, I make it red, and let's make it like 15 pixels so we actually see it for sure. And we are okay. I removed this bullet draw from here. That's the reason. So let's build it and let's run it. And let's hit B and nothing is happening. Why? So we shot a bullet, so then the monster will have an extra bullet in there. But we are not referring to the monster. Is that the issue? But it's a pointer. Doesn't it change the original? Or do we actually have to add it? What if I just say characters index 1? Now, of course, we can't just hardcode it like this, but just to see if that makes any difference, if I hit B now, nothing is happening. So let's go back to monster. Now, do we create the bullet with the correct position? So the X is character X plus character image gun position X. What if we just hardcode this to 500 and 500? And then we build it and we run it. And we hit B. B, 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 B. Nothing's happening. Shooting bullet. And to the bullets, we add that bullet. Now, can we actually do this even? Can we create a bullet and then pass a reference to it from the function? Maybe we can't do that because the bullet will be dropped when we return from the function, if I understand C correctly. So if I don't have it as a reference and bullets is just 50 bullets, then it might work. But now something is going to be wrong probably somewhere because it's not a pointer anymore. Let's just run it and see what's the problem. Okay, so bullets X. So when we draw the bullets, this is going to be dot X and dot direction. And this needs to be a reference to that. And if we then build it and we run it and we hit B, then we are shooting. Look at this. We are actually shooting, but we have to flip now the position of the bullet because it's on the wrong side. Amazing. How do we flip it? Well, when we shoot, we are going to set the x position and the y position based on, well, actually just the x position, based on the direction of the character. So let's call this x, and x is going to be that. Was that correct? Yes. But if character direction is -1, then x equals character with -x. So then we flip it. Hopefully that works. Build and run. And now if I hit B when it appears here again, we are actually not doing anything. What? Character x plus character image gun position x. If character direction equals -1, then x will be character with -x. Sorry, we have to reassign it. Let's do that. The x will be the character x plus the character with minus the gun position. And I'm missing an A here. So can we simplify this? Can this be gun position x, and int gun position x is this. But if the direction is left, then the gun position is going to be this. So then I can actually say gun position x equals character with minus gun position x, just like this. So then this x can be just character x plus gun position x. And we don't need this stuff at all. We can just do that. Let's see if it works. Build, run, and let's hit B. And look at this, we are shooting from the gun. But if we shoot more than 50 times, we are going to break it. Let's see if we can break it. I think I pressed 50 times already. Press. Okay, segmentation fault. So how do we fix that? Well, we can just set something like max bullets. And let's set it here. Define max bullets. Let's do 50 bullets. And then we can say if the count is greater than or equal to max bullets, then we go back to the first one. And that will already fix it, but we might also want to do something when the bullets go off screen. But I don't know, let's do just this. And let's build it and run it. And if we are gonna press B all the time, we're gonna shoot all the time, and it will never stop shooting. We can always... Wait a minute. Seems like something weird happened there. When I actually got to the 50, did it destroy all the bullets? I think that's what happened. So actually, can we just say that this is going to be modulo max bullets? Then it's gonna wrap around. If we have too many bullets, we're gonna change the first bullet. But then I don't really like that we're gonna have the bullets. We're gonna have 50 bullets existing all the time. So I guess we should have like a dynamic array or something. Let's see if that will work. Can I now shoot? I can shoot, and even if I go to 50, then it should not do anything. It shouldn't delete it still deletes the bullets. And actually now I can't shoot anymore. So the problem is now that the count is still getting bigger. So when we're looping through, we still use this count. So down here I should also say I and modulo max bullets. But again, this is not the way to do it. Let me know in the comments if you know the correct way of doing this. And I will probably fix it in the next video or some future video. But now it should work until the count is too big that we have more numbers that fits into an integer. But I don't think that's going to be an issue. So let's try to see now. If I hit B all the time, is it now going to work properly? Let's keep shooting and something weird is going on there, definitely. Because they are not as close to each other now after they wrap around. Now, I mean, technically we can just loop through max bullets and then we can use this I here, and we don't really even need the count. This is really just the index, and then we just set here the index to that. And then we can say that the index is going to be character bullets index plus 1 modulo max bullets. So now we always have 50 bullets, but then we're just gonna change the position into which we are saving the new bullet. Again, probably not the right way to do this, but hopefully that will now make it work nicely. So even if I shoot 50 times, it will still look the same. We're just gonna delete some of the bullets that are created previously. But they are already off screen, so we don't really care. But I guess the best way would be to actually add the bullets into a dynamic array. So then we could add as many bullets as we want, and then just remove them from the dynamic array when they go off screen. Anyway, it works now. Now, this video is getting pretty long, but I really want to have some point to this game by the end of this video. So let's at least detect when the bullets collide with the character, the main character. So let's now change the bullets to like black. And every time we draw a bullet, we are going to check if the bullet collides. So what is Copilot doing here? I don't want to do this at all. I want to say if, I think there's like a check collision circle rec. So we are going to check the bullet X. Now, can I actually do this? Can I say bullet is this? And then I can just say this is the bullet. Hopefully I can do that. And then I guess the bullet could just have been a vector 2. So we could say that the bullet is vector 2 position. And then we can just use draw circle V. And then we can just say bullet.position and radius and color. Yeah, so we can do that. And bullet, what else do we need to do? When we call bullet X, we have to say that this is actually position. And here we can just say vector 2, and we can do like this and like that. I believe it's something like this. So we pass in just the vector 2 here. And do we reference the X somewhere else? Here, bullet X. So this is actually bullet position X. And then we can draw the bullet. That's fine. And then we can check the collision directly with bullet.position and the character position. Yeah, and the size of the bullet. So let's say bullet size. I guess we can save it in there. Bullet.size. Now, again, it might not be a circle eventually, so whatever. Bullet.size and then the rectangle of the character. What is the rectangle of the character? Now, again, we could have saved that in there, but we save it as X, Y, width, and height. So we have to create that rectangle. And we have it here already in the character on platform check. So let's do that here. Let's create the character rectangle. And this is just X and Y and width. I mean, I guess we can remove a little bit from it. Fine, let's just do width and height. That's fine. Now, of course, to make it more realistic, we would have to like actually check which part of the rectangle like actually has some pixels in it. Because now we're only going to collide with the rectangle of the character. So it's not super accurate. But we can say now, character rec. So if we collide with a bullet to the character, something will happen. Let's just do game over is true. So let's add to the bullet a size. So a bullet has a position and direction and a size. Now, I'm not sure why it has to be float. I'll just call it an int. And this is going to be bullet size. And finally, we can do the following. We can set this game over variable. So let's set it somewhere here. Let's just say game over is false. And this is actually a Boolean. And then in the loop, we can say right at the top, if game over, then we're going to do something. We're going to do red background and we're gonna draw text game over in the middle, kind of middle, and end drawing and continue. Great. That is our game. Let's run our final game. It built, and if we run it, then now if we hit B, it doesn't work. Shooting bullet. Why are we not drawing the bullet? Because we don't give the bullet a size. Bullet equals this, and the size is 15. Okay, build it and run it, and then if we hit B, what? What? Oh, well, we got a game over screen, but the bullets are not moving for some reason, and I think that is because I added in here this thing, so it will change just this. So this has to be a pointer now, I guess. We point to that one, and then from that pointer we get the position X. And do we actually have to do this? We have to get a pointer to that thing or not? How does this work? Do I have to set here this is a pointer? And is that then enough if I do this? No, I have to make this. This has to be a reference to this. And then we set the position to the direction times bullet speed times that. And here we have to say bullet position, because otherwise we are just going to copy the bullet here and we're going to just change its size there, maybe. So now if we build it, we again need to remove the reference from this, because this is already a reference. It's a pointer. So now we can build it and we can run it, and if we hit B, when it hits us, we die. Amazing. Let's make the monster shoot automatically. So not with B anymore. We will just say if rand float, I have this function. If rand float is less than 0.01, then we shoot. Okay, let's see. Maybe that is way too fast. But if we build it and we run it, then, okay, it's gonna shoot now. Let's do it again. Run, and, is it gonna shoot? Okay, it shoots very rarely, but it does shoot sometimes. So let's do like 0.03. And I kind of want the bullet to be a different color. Black is too hard to see. Let's do yellow. And build it and run it. So now we died right away. I think I have to change the position of the character or the monster when it starts. Okay, now it's shooting very often. Okay, it works. Let's change it a little bit. 0.025. And when we create monster, we are going to put it at window width plus 500, let's say, and build it and run it. So now we have the monster, and it's very hard to play this game. So if we, damn it, let's make the monster a little bit slower. Let's do 200, and let's change the bullet speed to 40, and then build it and then run it. So now we can avoid the bullets and we can actually play this game. And now it's working. But it's kind of easy to play this now if we are just, well, okay, maybe I talked too soon. But the problem is that the monster is always down there. But we can just jump around up here and then we will never die. But of course, we always don't have a place to jump. So, yeah. This is now our beautiful game. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what should I add to this next and what did I do wrong. And if you are good at creating sprites, then feel free to make a pull request with new sprites for the game. Because I want some better animation when the characters are walking. But this is going to be the end of today's video. I will continue to play this game for a while and see if there are any bugs, and maybe I will get some more ideas on how to extend this game. But I will see you in the next one.